going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's James from the Ecom Boss team, and I'm here with an absolute legend inside of our program, Chris. Chris is one of our incredible success stories. He came from the complete beginner program, completely brand new, to doing over $85,000 in sales in the space of a few months. And so what I wanted to do here is interview him, talk about his story, where he came from, what he's learned as a result of learning these skill sets and making so much money with this system, and most importantly, some of the biggest learning lessons that he has to give you. So Chris, the super informal chat. So I just want to say, hey, how you going, dude?
Good, man. Good to be here.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. It's a day for celebration, man. You've been absolutely killing it.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks to you,
Oh, yeah.
boys.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you. It's your hard work. Well, I guess if we can start right off the rip, man, where are you from? How old are you? And give us a bit of a brief overview of sort of who you are, what you do, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Chris. I'm 26 from Sydney. Sales was my day job. Worked for a tech company down in Sydney before I got into the program, and then since then I've been in it for 3 months now, and I've quit my job, my day job per se, to I guess pursue this now as a realistic option as a day job itself. So it's exciting.
I love it, man. What kind of tech sales were you doing specifically?
It's like software program. We sell the software to a bunch of schools and government agencies in particular. Nothing exciting.
Sure. Okay, cool. Did you get to work from home already doing that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. That's a cool advantage. Was it always like that, or was it just after COVID?
Always like that, but there's obviously, you expect it to go in a few days a week, you know what I mean? But we always had the option of working from home, which is good.
That's cool. And it's one of those things which I think is quite interesting, because we talk about this a lot, right? E-commerce is just a skill that you can learn. And the best way to make money online is not by picking the world's best business model by any means. It's just learning as many skills as possible and getting good at them, because the more skills that we have in our toolkit, the more money you're going to make. And so it's interesting that you learned one of the best skills off the rip, which is sales, which is one of the best skills you can ever learn. So I guess doing that work originally, like, what did you like about doing sales and being involved in that industry?
I mean, my particular role at the company was what I liked about it, I guess you'd say, but also maybe what I didn't like about it in some aspects was it was very personal. So you're definitely learning those, interpersonal skills, which I did quite enjoy when you're speaking to the people, nice people and whatnot, but then also you can get some other ones. But learning how to, I suppose, within, particular time of speaking to them and learning about the best way to approach that particular person in sales and in selling them something, which is also something that I feel like resonates when I'm doing something like my ads, or I'm targeting a specific niche of people with my ads, being able to think what might work for them, what might not work for them, how to best approach it. So then that aspect of sales is, it's definitely important. And if you can speak to people and you're confident in that, then I think you can sell anything. So it's definitely, that would be my biggest thing that I would say, is just the interpersonal skills that you gain from it.
Nice, dude. Yeah, and it gives you a good backbone, right? Understanding people helps you in every aspect of life, especially marketing and online business. I think that's great. But I guess what's interesting about that is that, look, you're a young guy, right? You're living in Sydney, you said?
Yeah.
How old are you?
26.
26. Crazy. And so you had a good job, right? Good skill set. You got to work from home a hell of a lot of times. So that's a pretty good position to be in. A lot of people would be like, yeah, that's great. That's a dream. So what was it about that and looking into online business? Like, what was the motivation to even change and look into starting an online business?
I mean, it was definitely the potential to run your own business, and then what leads from that, I suppose, if you can make that long term, be your own boss, do your own hours, get your own profits, the effort that you put in, you get that back. That was definitely the biggest motivating factor in sort of looking at alternative ways. But there's almost too many things, and especially with the internet, once you get into like the black hole of how to make money, but all that sort of stuff, there's almost too much, and it's like a bit overwhelming. You don't know where to start, and then it starts to seem unrealistic, because it's like you don't know where to begin, and then all these things start coming. You're like coding, you start hearing all these crazy things, and you're like, what? You don't really know where to begin. But there was definitely always that sort of mentality of wanting to, have my own company, be my own boss, and then, make my own profits. So then get back what I put in, as opposed to putting in all this effort and then I'm seeing a small portion of what I'm generating. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was always the motivating factor, was just to be able to, you know, take my life back, have my own days, and yeah, and do something that I feel like when you have that motivation and that's the passion, and then you know, you'll succeed if that's the way that you think.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing because, as you said, once you kind of go down that rabbit hole and you see all the stuff out there, you start to realize that you don't need to be like in the 80s, some big shot on Wall Street to own a company and make money. Like a lot of the times people are starting to realize that, hey, I'm working for this company, I'm working for this boss, but there is the real person there who is earning off the back of me. And I think that as people become more aware, and also even just as guys, there's a bit of an ego over time where it's just like, hey, I'm making you rich. I'm doing all this work. I'm getting crumbs of it. Like this. And I want to change. And I've seen this time and time again. I've been there. I've had team members be there. I've had clients be there. I hear it all the time. Over time, we start off working for somebody else. We get those skills, like whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether it's a whole different industry. But over time, we start to grow up. And if we realize that, hey, we could be the person who is the boss, have people working for us, that's great. And so over time, I think it's a natural evolution. So I think we've all been there at some point, especially when it's gotten to the online game. And if someone's watching this and they have a boss and they're thinking, hey, well, maybe I want to be on the other side of this equation, well, it is 100% doable. And I think that once you kind of discover the whole online space, as I said, it's like a rabbit hole, right? It's a little voice that kind of sits inside your head from there, and you can never get rid of it. It never, ever goes away.
Yeah.
And so I guess, what did you see originally that got you interested in the online space that kind of brought that voice there in the first place? Was it a specific influencer? We've seen YouTube videos, TikToks, like what kind of popped up?
There's a few people that I would watch online. Dave Fogarty was one, the dude that created Beauty. And it's, and you get a lot of those people. I thought he was really good because he was very open, and he was very transparent, and you get lots of things where it's they come at you with all this, oh, do this, you make this, blah blah blah, I've done this, but then it's like, how, what's stopping me from doing it, blah 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 blah.
Yes.
So that was when it was sort of, when you start to see just how it's possible, and it's not actually as difficult as you think it is. So that sort of started I suppose, my interest in looking into it. And obviously, Sydney's pretty bloody expensive, so having that little extra income is, especially now, is something that a lot of people are probably going to be looking towards more and more. So yeah, that was sort of piqued my interest, and then I found you guys, and
Wait,
the rest is history.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah, Dave is great. Dave is great. I think that there's a lot of noise online, as you know. There's a hell of a lot of YouTubers and people who just put information out there for the sake of putting information out there. One of the things I like about Davey and a lot of these sort of bigger brand owners is that they get to actually pull back the curtain and say, hey, listen, here's $100 million e-commerce brand. Here's all the highs and here's all the lows. Here's all the things that I got right and here's all the things that I fucked up. And I love that kind of transparency because there's so much that you can learn. And even though as a beginner, it's very hard to watch a lot of that and be able to pull out like tangible step one, right? You can see so much of what it really looks like, even on an advanced level. And those people that I learn from all the time as well, I think that they're great. I guess with that being said, I know you found us and sort of the rest is history. Before you sort of saw us pop up and you looked at what we do, did you try anything else? Did you go into any business models? Did you attempt to do anything on your own first?
Not really. I was always, when it became my sort of passion and want to do this, it was sort of, I guess, concentrated into within the last 6-7 months. I was always, looking. I'd look up, what is blah blah blah, how do you do blah 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 blah, and I would always try and keep an eye out on things that I thought might have potential, blah blah blah. But then there was always just that sort of that roadblock of just beginning, tearing that back, and then seeing the light at the end of the tunnel on how to get there. And that's the hardest part for everybody, is because it's getting your foot in the door and actually seeing it's possible. It's easy to say, oh, I want to do this, but then to be able to see how it can happen and to do it, and then it's a light bulb moment in your head, and you're like, this could be a reality. This is actually very attainable if I just grind and put the effort into it. So all that sort of happened quite fast, and in terms of me taking more seriously about and starting my own side hustle at the time was what it was for me, just to make a bit of money on the side. And then that period of just, I suppose, researching, seeing things. It's probably why you guys popped up on my Instagram, because I had started to look at it and Yeah, but I was always just, I suppose, a bit entrepreneurial in the sense that I always in the back of my mind was like, I will do something in that sense. I will, like, I don't want to be doing this forever. And then from researching it and then seeing you, and then, when that light bulb moment and the curtain opens up and you're like, this, I can see how this would work. And I like the potential for it happened. Yeah. It was pretty concentrated in the last 6 months, I think. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you've come a hell of a long way in the last 6 months. So it's cool to see how
Mm,
quickly it escalated. That's for sure.
that's cool.
I'd love to know, what was it about, I guess, working with a one-on-one coach and joining a coaching program that,
Mm,
got you interested? Because there's a hell of a lot of people who say, I'll just learn from YouTube and I'll spend the 3 years, piecing everything together.
yeah.
With an online coach, a one-on-one coach to get results faster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need it. You absolutely. I don't like, as you said, spending 3 years trying to do it all yourself. These people, well, you guys, you've done it, and you've the issues that we would face and the problems and the things we do wrong, you've faced them and you've overcome them, and then so it's almost like we don't have to. But even still, like, so many things, even the intricate sort of technical side of setting it all up, which that would take, I don't know how long that would take to figure out yourself, because that stuff is wild. But then, like, the less intricate, more what might work, you should try this, why this isn't working, that sort of stuff. With being able to, like, I message Emmett like 24/7 most days. Like, it's pretty crazy. We have a video call twice a week. Two more you like could go to if you want to. That's I could speak to him, texting all the time, and then seeing face to face 4 days a week if I wanted to. And like, you're going to face, especially in the beginning, so many little things, like I mentioned, that a quick message and then come back, and that saves you hours, days of figuring it out yourself. And then that just keeps you motivated because you're always progressing, you're always moving forward. And then that's the biggest thing, is that progression. And then that's what keeps you motivated. And eventually, yeah, get to the stage where money starts coming in, and then that's a different sort of motivation, and that's different altogether. But yeah, you like the being able to talk 24/7, and he replies so fast. I said to him, I don't know how he has any time in the day. It's pretty crazy. But it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah. Coach Emmett is just the best. There is
Oh yeah.
I could ever fault about that guy. He is incredible.
Mm.
If you didn't know, some of you watching, Emmett is our head coach over at the company, and he is super involved with all of our clients alongside me. And not only is he the best coach in the world, he's always available. He's always there one-on-one for all of our team and our clients. He's incredible. He's also one of my best friends. His dog and my dog are actually brothers from the same litter. Two little sausage dogs. He's just the heart and soul of what it is that we do. So he's absolutely incredible. And to be honest, man, you're right. When I look at, a lot of my successful friends, they've even chunked it up a bit more, like most successful entrepreneurs in the world, they sort of recognize that there's a difference between renewable resources and non-renewable resources. And what I mean by that is a renewable resource is money. You can always renew your money. You can get more money. You can find more money. You can work for more money. Money is renewable. Time isn't. And so one of the things that I see with a lot of beginners, and I totally get it because they're nervous and they're scared, and I was there as well when I started. I'm sure some of the other people watching this right now have been there as well. But what happens is they decide to trade a non-renewable resource, which is time, for a renewable resource, which is money. Well, if I just 3x the amount of time that I put into this and I can save a little bit of money, that's a smart move. And though I get it, right, it's actually not logically, because we're trading something that we don't have much of for something that we can always get more of. And so the smartest people who have got the best results, like you, like me, and obviously people all the way up to Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, there have been times in their life where they've traded a renewable resource, money, for non-renewable, which is time, by paying someone who's already done it time and time again to give them what they need so they can get there immediately. And that's why you've gone ahead and in 6 months over $85,000 in sales, right? Speaks for itself. And so I guess with that being said, did you have a level of skepticism about working with a coach or joining a program in the past?
Yeah, for sure. When I think I said this to you guys the other week, but when I posted in the group, I still remember, like, not knowing what I was getting myself into, really. So of course, I mean, if you're not don't have skepticism, then your brain's not working right, I don't think. But just the confidence in, I suppose, the biggest thing that was the biggest, like, reason where the skepticism sort of I overcame that was the fact that there was the one-on-one coaching 24/7. There was, a community of people at all points in the sort of system, people like me just starting, People have been doing it for a year, months. People that were struggling, people that were doing well. And then with that community, you sort of all prop each other up and build with each other. So that skepticism kind of went out the door pretty quick, probably when you get that first sale come in, which is the crazy feeling because it's, like making money online. You're sitting at your desk and then you get a notification on your phone. Crazy feeling. And then any sort of doubt that you have once that hits it's gone pretty quick.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I like to say that your first sale online corrupts you, because once you get it and you get that rush, it's over. It's just you're like, I'm gonna get more and more and more. And I think for a lot of people, that first sale is what takes them from sort of nervous and skeptical, even if they're doing it, to like, holy shit, this is real and I can do this. And I've got this money in my bank account. It may not be a life-changing amount. You're not gonna make 100 grand in your first sale, but that first sale will change everything for you. And I hear it time
for sure.
again, and I love that. And so what I'd love to do now is I'd love to kind of walk through a little bit more of like your progress and your journey, like where you started, where you are now. And for those of you who are new to the channel, Ecom Boss, we have two programs. We have a beginner program and an advanced program. And the reason we created it this way is because when you look online, you see all the gurus, right, standing in front of their Lamborghinis, promising you $1 million by Friday, and you and I both know that's ridiculous. But what they do is they teach you to build a Shopify store, you spend your life savings on ads, and then pray to the Lord that you'll make a profit off the rip of it. It's complicated, it's confusing, you're learning 1,800 different skills at once, and that's why a lot of dropshippers, as a beginner, fail, because it's just not the right business model starting out. And so we realized that. And so as a company, we developed a system for beginners and then for people who have gone through the beginner program and gone to the advanced stuff that practically guarantees that you'll succeed. Here's the way that it works. Our beginners start with a system where they do dropshipping organically. Now, organic just basically means free. You didn't have to pay for advertising, you have to pay for inventory or stock, websites or anything. And so what we do is we teach our clients how to go ahead and find winning products that are proven to sell, but then how to sell them on apps that are already on your phone, like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or Etsy, platforms where you don't have to build a website, you don't have to spend any money on ads, and every sale that you make, you're guaranteed to make a profit unless you don't follow basic pricing guidelines. And so the reason why our students do so well in the beginning stages is that they don't have to put any money into building the business. They just start and they put in the one thing that they have, which is time. And once they get those skills, and those skills are very easy to learn, they've got cash flow coming in, they've got that first sale, they caught that bug, right? Corrupts them, they're ready to go. And then when they're ready, they can go ahead and take some of the money they made, some of that profit, and turn it into, in the advanced program, a long-term business, a long-term brand, Shopify store, running ads, learning the more advanced skills. And that's the reason why we have beginners crushing it and then going ahead and doing ridiculous numbers in a space of 2-3 months later. And so this is the kind of model that we teach our clients. And so for you, Chris, when you started out with the organic stuff in the beginner program. Run me through sort of your experience, what you did there. I know you did a couple grand in profit doing that before we switched to the Shopify store and ads. So tell me about the beginner program, the organic stuff.
Yeah. So pretty much it's as you mentioned, it's organic. It's so you're not actually spending when you're selling, you're not spending a cent. So that process was you're pretty much finding products and also using it as a way to test the products, which as you sort of learn later down the track, you've already, that first initial process, the beginner course, you're also testing products for the elite course. So that's something that, when you're doing it at the time, it's you don't understand how beneficial that is because you just spend a month testing products.
Yes.
But pretty much you're just finding products, throwing them up, testing them, seeing what bites, seeing what sells, why it sells. You find, if I'm selling this thing, and you can find some things that maybe are similar to it, and then you start to think, how can I build, a store around these products? But yeah, it's all organic. So all you have to do is just to be able to speak to people. But even that, you guys have scripts for. So it's like, it's not like if you're fearful of speaking to people, that's not, there's scripts, there's ways to do it. But yeah, no, it's for the first process, it's just all organic. And then literally you're making all the profits come back to you. You're not spending a cent. And then throughout this whole process is why it's really, I think it's very important as well for people, and why you can't really rush into it is all of the sort of motivating aspects of it per day, because there are going to be a few days maybe you don't get some sales, a few weeks you don't get sales, and like obviously that happens with everything. But it's once you can see how it works and how all you have to do is just put more up, test more, reply faster, just figure out the intricacies of what makes something sell. Yeah, it's the beginning part was crazy. And then, as I said, you're testing products. Then you start getting that mentality of, why is this working? Okay, that, maybe this will work. Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? And then it's all coming together. And by the end of it, you will have products which work, which sell, which give you a profit, which then you can start to think about building a store for, which is then where you guys obviously come in with the know-how of doing all that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been great.
I love it. I love it. And you said you've done about $2,000 in profit just with the free strategies?
Yeah.
That's so good. It's so good. And it kind of goes back to the whole thing where, the majority of people will teach you in overpriced programs that you need to spend all this money on ads to test products. And what we do is we actually get paid to test products. You got paid $2,000 in profit to test products, which you then turned into a business that is doing a hell of a lot of money. And so that's a really, really cool position to be in. And so after you went through that, you made some money, you go ahead, you learn the skills, you're excited, you're pumped up, you're feeling good about everything. You then transitioned into building a store, running ads and all that kind of stuff. So could you walk me through sort of how you went from beginner, making a bit of money online, to now doing $85,000 in sales with no signs of slowing down? Like, how did you get to that point?
Yeah. Well, pretty much as I said, I was testing all the products through that beginning phase without even realizing. From there, just with conversations with Emmett, conversations with you, conversations with the team, figuring out the best products and how to go about it and getting the correct pricing that you've got. And then you just pretty much just follow the steps. It's all put out for you. It's all chronologically set up step by step. So in the elite program, you literally just follow the steps, go through it, start your website. And then throughout this whole period as well, you're learning how to, create ads. You're learning how to do marketing. You're learning how to do copy. You're learning how to build websites. You're getting a little bit of coding experience. So all of this stuff accumulates into the end product, which is an e-commerce store, which is, automated and is successful because you've already tested these products and they have sold. And if someone's going to buy something, from down the road in Sydney and, pay ID to get it, and then you can expand that market to the US, the UK, Canada, New Zealand, you're going to get sales. So yeah, that was sort of the process. And yeah, now I've got my first store up, and I should have my second store coming up hopefully soon. But yeah, that was sort of my process.
I love it, dude. I love it. It gets me so excited hearing all this stuff. And I guess for someone who's listening to this and they say, this sounds hard, building a store, running ads, it sounds very techie and complicated. I'm like new to this stuff. Like, is it as hard as it sounds, or is it a bit easier when you have the right stuff in place?
It would be incredibly difficult if you weren't doing the course, that's for sure. But it's all set up like all of that intricate details, all the technical stuff. It's all, you just literally have to follow the screen share that they have all done for you. That part is that's not difficult because you just follow the steps there. But then you also, what people might find more difficult aspect of it is where, that's up to you. That's if you want to put in the effort into it, and if you want to go the extra mile to make that, that ad that you're doing, give it a little bit more time on Canva, maybe see what other people that are selling similar things do. That's the, difficult part, if you want to say it's difficult. But then it's also so attainable just based off how badly you want and how much effort you want to put into it. But no, it's definitely not difficult. All the difficult parts, the technical stuff you don't have to worry about that.
I love it. I love it. And I think you're a living testament to that, man. You've gone from 6-7 months ago from having no clue how to do this stuff to getting started, make a couple grand online in profit, building a store, now doing $85,000 in sales. A couple of weeks ago, we were in Melbourne, we're having a drink together, and we were talking about, should I quit my job? Should I not quit my job? You've told me this morning, you've now quit your job and you're now about to go to Europe. So things have changed very quickly for you. And
that's for sure.
That's absolutely wonderful. So before we wrap up, tell us a little bit more about like what your future goals, your future plans are. I know you're setting up a store right now and you're changing some things to make sure it's pretty much completely automated so that while you're in Europe, you can party and have fun. And then I guess further than that, what's the long-term plan? What's the long-term goal? Give me a rundown.
Oh, I mean, to be honest, I don't think I've thought as further down as I probably should have. I'm sort of thinking pre-Europe, post-Europe, just get there. But definitely get the stores up, the new store up, get this first store that I've got, fully automated, maybe look to outsource particular aspects of running it. so I don't have to do anything while I'm away, and just still get
Mhm.
paid for it. But definitely, I mean, build stores, find winning products. Yeah, and then when I get back from Europe, then maybe I'll have a sit down with myself and figure that out.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. No, you're in a good spot. You deserve to take some time off and let the steam out. So, dude, super proud of you, man. We're really excited to help you scale it even further as we go. And I guess before we wrap things up, man, I really appreciate taking the time out to share this stuff. It's been super valuable for everyone watching. I guess if you were speaking to yourself right now, 6-7 months ago, and you were talking to you, you're brand new, you're nervous, you're skeptical. If you could give one piece of advice to yourself, what would that be?
Oh, well, if I give one piece of advice, I'd tell myself to do it. But oh, just back yourself, honestly. Like the as I was saying to you before, what you guys do and what's so good about this program is that something that you hear about all the time, oh, if you put work in, anyone can do it. If you work hard, you'll get what you want. And so sometimes it's sort of getting that first step to seeing how that can be a reality.
Yeah.
So what I would say to myself is just, start the program and then just back yourself, because if you do the work, the steps are there that you guys provide. The only thing stopping you is yourself. So back yourself. It's not always going to go. It's not, it's not an exponential curve per se. It's up and down. You have good days, you have bad days. That's life.
Yeah.
But just back yourself and stay consistent, because consistency is key. And then it is okay if you have a few days when, but then just get back on it and build it up again. And just back yourself, know that you can do it if you put the work in and stay consistent and utilize the resources. Like, I'm asking Emmett questions all the time, questions that, he's like weird stuff, and probably, but if you got a question, ask him. That's what you guys are there for. And they're there to help you do it. So back yourself, give it a good crack. And know that it's, if you put the work in, you will achieve the results that you set out for. So that's what I'd say to myself.
I love it, Chris. I love it, man. And even if you don't realize it right now, you've inspired a hell of a lot of people who are watching this video down the line, man. So good work.
I hope so.
Keep it up. Want to keep scaling. I appreciate your time being here, man. I appreciate you hanging out. We're going to be seeing each other in a couple of months in Sydney at the next event, which I'm super excited for. But dude, thank you very much for your time, man. This was super fun. And dude, we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, James.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next video.